I say to you that whatever I have done in the north, I did as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It includes the Kano-Kaduna rail, the Kano-Maradi rail, and the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna rail. It includes the establishment of the University of Transport in Daura, and to say it was done because I felt there was a need to establish those things. We are a nation. While preaching unity in northern Nigeria, please let us also preach unity in the whole of Nigeria. The problem with Nigeria is injustice. The justice that is being served in Abuja must be served in the Igbo land, southeast, must also be served in the north, as well as the southwest, and as well as the south-south. Those who have accused the president of being nepotistic are not being fair to him. He's not nepotistic. Yorubas are not enjoying this government. Very few individuals are enjoying this government, and the rest of us are suffering. The rest of us are dying of hunger. Nigerians are dying of hunger. The government has panicked. They've closed schools. There are 20 million Nigerians who are out of school. Instead of addressing it, we are closing schools to increase the number of Nigerians who are out of school. In that number, more than 60% of those who are out of school are northerners. And the Nigerian government are not worried. I mean, it's not worried about it at all. We are not worried about it. The more we deny Nigerians their economic rights, the more they will establish for themselves non-economic rights. And what are non-economic rights? Those rights that includes kidnapping. Today, the Nigerian government is not able to protect anybody. Nobody. So, for me, I thank Arewa, and I think that Arewa should go a bit further to negotiate with other Nigerians to come together to address what is currently happening in the country. I thank all of you.
Of terrorism and all that. Can't we put everything on the table and allocate problems, allocate blames where they're supposed to, and let's solve them on that basis?
The security system is aware. But I think their inability to deal with it is what has even made them vulnerable. And we're likely going to have more great officers falling. Because the rogue elements are part and parcel of the partnership of terrorism, beneficiary. So it's a network they belong to. So for them, terrorism is gain. Nigeria is lost. And patriotic elements within the security system, the military, are targets. So they are targets within the system and targets outside the system. What the Kebbi State Governor has said has been the pattern. Before the abduction of Dutch girls, the military that were deployed to that school left about an hour before the terrorists attacked and kidnapped those girls. So it's a familiar pattern that we should be ashamed of discussing it, because we should have been able to now move ahead of it. But you see, it's still happening. So the unanswered question, which the military would have taken it as part of this, their successes, to explain to Nigerians why would a deployment evaporate operationally within 30 minutes and 25 young girls between the ages of 12 to 16 will be kidnapped. The principal and one other person were killed and marched into the bush.
Let me get your perspective on this. There are a school of thought that believes that some of these kidnappings of young schoolgirls, young people, and secondary school, tertiary institutions, is actually tied to the fact that there's a threat coming from President Trump of America, and that these kidnappings, which will spike, from the look of things, is also intended to make these kidnapped school children as hostages, as against any possible attack that will come from the Americans.
It's a defeatist line of thought of very lazy minds. Even if the terrorists kidnap the whole girls in Nigeria, Americans have the capacity to rescue the girls and destroy the terrorists. An American was kidnapped in Nigeria. America moved into Nigeria, rescued their citizens. We were here looking like monkungs in Nigeria until they finished the operation before we knew. So it is not an explanation at all. The Americans, look, even if the whole girls in Nigeria are kidnapped, the American would conduct an operation, rescue those girls, and destroy the terrorist network. So all those advancing the line of thoughts are either lazy minds or they are terrorist apologists who are afraid of Trump coming. For me, I don't want Trump to come, except the Nigerian government will deal with the situation decisively. And the military or the Nigerian state that is offering this explanation, how much have they done since this thing started? For all these 7 days, it is news about the success of the terrorists. So the coming of Donald Trump can only be stopped but by decisive dealing with the terrorists. And if the Nigerian government wants us to join in trying to save Nigerian sovereignty, let them publish the names of terrorist sponsors and enabler. The first thing, once they do that, we will say, oh, Nigeria is now getting serious. We now know the terrorists, the one in the government, the one in the business sector, the one in the church, the one in the mosque, and the one in the bush. Then we will come out and tell Nigerians, look, the government now is looking serious.
But President TINUBU just said it when he made changes in the military hierarchy just recently. He gave marching orders to the military hierarchy to go and to redouble their efforts. And also, just recently, I think a couple of days, that he said he shelved his trip to South Africa for the G20 summit to enable him sit down in Nigeria and take charge of these situations. So can you say the government, can you truly say the government has not done anything at all?
No, I think I should congratulate President TINUBU for deceiving us again. I've been in government. Throughout President Buhari's time, each time there was attack, government would say, we condemn, we were on top of the situation, we will deal. The moment the president makes this statement, the terrorists become emboldened and attack more. So what has spiked up this current attack is the statement of government that President TINUBU has said, oh, I have changed the service chiefs, we want to rejig. Oh, this very serious statement. Do we need to know that one? When the terrorists are planning to kidnap and kill generals, do they announce it? Why would a serious government trying to deal with an existential threat like this go on the propaganda of telling Nigerians, making us to think that we are safe so that we will not loosen up and the terrorists will be kidnapping us? Is that when the Americans came here and rescued their citizens, did we hear anything from America? Until when they finish. A very serious government will not be discussing security issues on the television.
So in effect, what you are saying is that, you do agree with the assertion or allegation that the terrorists are all sort of like testing the resolve of government. Since the President TINUBU has come to say, I've given you marching orders and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, are you in effect agreeing to the fact that the terrorists are testing the resolve of the government?
I'm vehemently disagreeing. The terrorists are not testing. The terrorists are ahead. Somebody who is ahead of you cannot test your resolve. Let us not pretend. I mean, you look at the way they are kidnapping with impunity, recklessly. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. They have moved from Niger and then Bauchi. And we don't know where they will go. So is that testing of resolve? No. They are setting the agenda for the Nigerian state to follow like a zombie.